So tell us about Cost Plus Drugs, how you got involved in the company and in the national discussion and debate on drug pricing.
So there's two elements there. One is with healthcare. And so probably 2017, when there was a lot of discussion when the Republicans got into the White House about getting rid of the ACA, there was a big question mark about what would replace it. And so I was talking with various people in the administration, and they were like, well, if you have any ideas, let us know. And so I started looking at, what could be created to replace the ACA. So I started funding these studies with various economists to just look at what are the underlying costs of healthcare. And around the same time, I got a cold email from Dr. Alex Oshmayansky. And he was telling me about the pharmacy, the compounding pharmacy he was creating in Denver that was looking for funding to be able to create drugs to handle shortages of drugs. So very often drugs, even generic drugs, go in short supply, and when that happens, either somebody jacks up the price or it just is not available or very difficult to get. And so as we were going back and forth via email, I started asking questions, well, why stop here? And that was when Martin Shkreli was doing his thing and he was going to jail. And I was like, well, if this idiot can jack up prices 1,500% or whatever it was for Daraprim, that means there's fungibility in the pricing. There must be an opportunity to reduce the cost as well. Can we look at that? And so that's where we started the process of working together to say, okay, what are all the regulatory issues? What are all the pharmacy issue, all the things all the I's you have to, the dot and T's you have to cross just to be in this business. And that took about 3 years. And we finally got to the point where it was, okay, let's start working with a drug called albendazole, where we had somebody manufacture it for us. And what albendazole is a drug for hookworm, for parasitics. And it's still a problem in rural areas of Alabama and Texas, South Carolina, and other places across the country. And it costs $200 per course. And I was like, well, if we manufacture it or have somebody manufacture it for us, what could we sell it for? And he was like, $12. I was like, okay, that's an indication that maybe there's something that we can change here. And so we went through the process, working with Baylor School of Medicine, and I think it was their health sciences group, and had somebody manufacture it for us, went through the whole FDA approval process, worked with a bunch of clinics where we provided to them a cost, and then started selling it as a Cost Plus Drugs branded drug. And we learned some things there and said, okay, now it's time to expand. Can we go and work with a bunch of generic manufacturers to offer as many drugs as we possibly can? And that was the genesis of where we are today with Cost Plus Drugs. We partnered with a company called TruePill, who's been great to work with, where they helped provide software and build the website and all that, and became our dispensing pharmacy. And that shortcutted a lot of the dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And in January of 2022, this year, we launched our website and started shipping about 110 drugs. And from there, we've grown to probably 900, by the time people see this, 950 of the top 1,000 generic drugs that are available that we're offering on Cost Plus Drugs.
Mm-hmm. And you have about 1 million people on board already.
Yeah, so we're adding anywhere on a weekend, well, now it's changing by the day, but let's just say 5,000 to 10,000 people per day. And that number is going up like this. All our numbers are going up like this, like a hockey stick. It's incredible.
I don't think a lot of people know that this is something that you've been working on quietly for years now.
Yeah.
It just kind of popped up.
No, it didn't just, okay, let's just launch our website, because you've got to get, before a drug manufacturer, whether it's generics or brand, is going to work with you, they have to trust you. And they have to believe you're not going to screw up their business, and you're going to create more demand, and you're going to take care of patients and do it the right way. And that's one of the reasons I put my name on it. There's never been a for-profit company, or private benefit company for that matter, that I've put my name on before. I've done it on foundational stuff, but never on a regular company. And I put it on there to show people that I was serious, that I was financially committed, and that we were going to make this work. And that helped us get contracts with multiple generic manufacturers, which helped us push down the pricing further, which allowed us upon launch to be able to offer the 110 drugs. And I'd say part two to what we came up with in launching Cost Plus Drugs was transparency. Because the missing element in all of healthcare right now is trust. And the only way you're going to get people to trust you is to be completely transparent. And so what we decided to do, which was unheard of and people thought we were crazy, was to show our price and to only mark things up 15%, show you what our True Pill pharmacy handling fee, and show you our shipping costs. So when you go to Cost Plus Drugs and costplusdrugs.com and you put in the name of the drug that you're looking to buy, you'll see exactly what we pay for it. You'll see that it's marked up 15%. We'll show you what the markup is. You'll see that there's a $3 handling fee for the pharmacy and $5 shipping. And that's it. And so which is great for patients, but a secondary effect has been that everybody in the industry can now see what we pay for a drug. And we may pay a little bit more than some other folks just because we may not be as big yet as they are, but everybody and anybody can see our costs. And so now you're starting to see studies come out comparing, what it would be, how much money Medicare would save if they bought from Cost Plus Drugs, working backwards for different studies to see what this generic or that generic actually costs. And so not only have we had an impact on patients' lives, but we've had an impact on the industry.
I actually spoke to the researcher behind the Harvard study.
Yes, and that was only 77 of the drugs that we sell. Imagine if they used all 900 plus.
Mm-hmm. And so what's your vision for the company and its impact that it could have on the pharmaceutical industry?
I mean, our mission is to be the low-cost provider of every medication that we're legally allowed to sell. Period, end of story. You're not going to see us add a ton of bells and whistles. You're not going to see telemedicine. You're not going to see adherence regimens. It's wrong that in this country, or anywhere for that matter, that people have to choose between their medications and rent and food and other important elements. And so if we can reduce that stress and solve that problem just a little bit, that's an amazing accomplishment. And so our mission is very singular, very direct, and very simple: to be the low-cost provider of medications for every drug we're allowed to sell, period, end of story.